Welcome back to Artisan of Glimmith. I have 4 puzzles for you guys today, and the last one is an uber challenge. Prepare yourselves to puzzle. And I'll start with this level, a level 6, new symbol called compass. Now, the compass can have up to 4 numbers on it, and the direction the number is facing matters. So, looking at this compass, for example, there is an 8 on the top, which means that within this shape, there must be 8 cells above it. So these 4 and 4 more of the 5. Now note the 3 to the left says there's only 3 cells to the left of it. So once I exceed that, it's unhappy, meaning we're not getting onto this single one. So that means we're gonna likely snake around and get the other 4 up here. Now, if there's no numbers, that means there's just no requirement. And technically, I don't know if these 2 regions connect. It could potentially go around some other regions and then connect, but it can't overlap with another compass because of the solitude rule. So I think I'll just leave it like this for now. And because of the solitude rule, every single dead end must come out and reach, I guess, some symbol. There's not many where it immediately meets a symbol, but there's a lot of dead ends that need to amount to something. Now, this dead end did lead to a symbol, the 3-2 compass. Now, how are we getting 3 tiles to the left of this compass? By my count, there's 5 total, and the one that's above will never be reached because of the 2 above. So we realistically have 3 out of 4 here, but we can't do 4. But we can't just leave 1 behind because of the solitude rule. It has to reach a compass. So I reckon the only way it's going to make sense is if I hit these 2 cells, but this has to come out for something, so I'm going to let it come out for air, maybe into this, and have this reach around. And the 1 through here is actually really convenient, that I could make just a little T shape, and then wrap around it like this. And that works, but it may not be right. And we also don't know exactly which 2 pieces going upwards are going to be the one, so I'll just leave this be. Kind of want to look at this compass as 3 below. So, I mean, the most logical idea is this one. It's so tiny, but it works. That doesn't mean it's right, though. Is there any world in which this border is drawn? Well, this would need to come out to something, which, ignoring that compass being wrong, we'd have to look at this. It would then have to, like, merge with these. And then we're out of regions for this to capture. It's just not going to happen. Gonna overload a compass, or it'll just be wrong. So it looks like I'll grab this for sure. And I guess it actually could be shaped like this, as wild as that is. But then that begs the question, how are we satisfying this 3? It's not going to come down here, that's going to overload it, and there's no space to get through the left side. So let's be reasonable, make a T-piece. Then we have a new dead end that must escape. I feel like merging with this is the most sensible. The only other option would be merging with these, and then somehow we'd have to get 3 below, which just doesn't work. Yeah, let's not make things too complicated for ourselves. I guess that does confirm the blue won't merge over here because that overloads. It will just merge with this orange. Well then, what the hell are we doing with this orange one? I mean, it can't merge with this, nor can it merge with this. So you're telling me it's going to go on a magical journey? Not to you either, nor to you. I suppose it can merge with the other orange. That's possible. And technically, it actually doesn't invalidate the 9. Like, this is a valid shape. Okay, so those are our 2 options. Let's make sure they are known. Then this 3, let's be honest, is merging with the purple. There's just not enough left over for it to somehow hit something else. Don't know which way it goes, but we could assume this way so that the green has space to reach in here. Oh, wait, no. No matter what, this has to escape out through this way, which means that this cell can't be an island. It's got to merge here. We now have 3 below, so this is going to be orange. Then we could go this way or this way. I'll think about it. What I do know is that this compass has a very picky 3, right? There's only 4 available cells. It already has 1, so it's 2 out of these 3. So it's again, we got to be like the other 2, 3, where it kind of wraps around and grabs them like this or so, which means this shape would have to fill in here, which actually is perfectly valid. Draw a line here. Okay, this 9 doesn't have much to grab. I'm gonna tell you what that is. It's gonna have to be part of this, oh no. Oh, it has 10 now. Oh, I missed the option though. I did miss one possibility. This could be purple, this could be yellow. That works. Because I'm like, yeah, how else is that 9 gonna be satisfied? Of course. It makes perfect sense. And actually, the 6 is perfectly satisfied too. Funny how that happens. Fill in purple here. That means this here dead end almost certainly merges with this, which makes plenty of sense. It completes the 3 on the left of the compass. Oh, I also forgot this did invalidate this shape. Sorry. Let's fix it by bringing out. There we go. Well, then that pretty much forces green to come in here. So now we've fulfilled the bottom. Then we just need to get 4 more to the right. And then we can definitely confirm this cell. It's not going to be part of anything else except for this. And I guess the green 5. When we have 5 possible contenders for the remaining 4 rightward facing ones, and whatever I do has to not block off the orange to escape, which means it's going to have to look basically like that. Yeah, just allowing the orange to escape to the right, which then forces this to be complete shape. And then 5 must extend to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Finish the 3 and finish the 2. We're off to a good start, but it's about to get crazier. I've got another 6 for you, and it looks smaller, but it's got 18 and 19. Once again, solid 2 rules, but we also have a 0 on a compass, which is distinct from the lack of a number. That definitely means we could just draw a barrier to the side the 0 is facing. 18, 19? Okay, hold up. We have 49 cells total. I feel like we can use some good math here, right? Because I feel like the main thing we want to figure out is this big shape. How many cells are in direct vertical horizontal, and how many cells will fulfill both the left facing and the down facing number. Now, out of 49, the 4 numbers on this compass add up to 48, plus the compass itself, which also makes 49. Now, obviously, it's not the whole thing is 49, is this compass, because we have other compasses, 2 of which have numbers add up to 10. So maybe I could use this to try to figure out what the smallest possible number from it is. That means I want to maximize the number of diagonals. It could be something like this, for example. Most of them are diagonals, so it's size 7. So ignore this for right now. We're just counting. We are going to have at least 2 cells directly to one of the orthogonal sides. They can't all be diagonals. So 7 is as small as this shape can get. However, there's 2 of them. So 2 7s. And then, of course, these could technically be size 1. That's fine. Which means we have at minimum 16 in the other shapes. So this can be at most size, what? 49 minus 16 is 33. Size 33 with 16 diagonals. Well, and actually, just given the height and width of the board, you are going to have at least 16 diagonals. Because what? There's 13 cells that aren't on a diagonal from this compass total, and a few of which are off limits. Now, if we're examining the other sides of the zeros, obviously it's not going to be this shape for 2 reasons. I think the only shape it can be is the big shape, except I guess I have to be a little careful of some of the numbers I am working with. The 5 to the side does make things rough. Actually, yeah, it does. Wait, yeah, actually, the 5 to the right means I'm only getting 5 out of 7. So I think the thing I'll have to do, actually, I was going to be like, well, if blue doesn't reach here, then what does? Absolutely nothing. So then what if I just leave the top open? Well, then what reaches up here? Absolutely nothing. The only thing you can do then, and this is pretty clever, is leave the middle open and then have this wrap all the way around the side, kind of like this. Give or take. I guess it doesn't have to wrap all the way around. I guess it could leave a little bit of space in the upper corner for our friend compass up here, because we do have a 6 on top. But that also solves the problem of the other 0. So I think it makes a lot of sense. So if this compass is dominating the upper left corner, it asks that you reach that corner, which does satisfy the 1. So I imagine this would come in here then. Then, if I was to complete the 4 to the left, it would look like this. And then to the right, it would look like this. I feel like that actually makes a ton of sense. But then we got to think about this cell. This cell is not quite reaching here because that overloads the 2. So it looks like it's going to be part of this. But then how do we satisfy this compass in general? Probably something that goes down with the 2, and then something that wraps around like this. Is that right? Now, out of curiosity, how close are we if I just mark this? We are going to be off. Let me just start. Oh, wait, no. No. Of course this is wrong. The middle compass needs to go all the way over here. Right, it needs to fill these in so the 5 doesn't get upset. So this would satisfy the 1. And then the 3 could also help satisfy the 2 like this. Okay, now how close are we? Wait, we're not close because the blue doesn't touch. Ah, so that means we have to make sure the 2 blue sections actually touch. This comes out and this comes down. Get rid of that line, draw that shape. Well, now they touch. Now it's just the point of using the game's UI to actually indicate where my counting error is, and that's at the 18. And the 19's a little wrong as well. Wait, so that invalidates 18. That does not invalidate 19. But this shape, I wasn't gonna just count it manually. This shape actually is right for blue, so I can just have the rest be light blue. Okay. And now we go even harder. Difficulty 7. Still compass and solitude, but almost the inverse problem of the previous one, where with 4 regions, somehow I'm supposed to fill in all 49 cells. And especially when some of them are zeros, you can just draw lines in the direction of the 0. It's never going to expand that far. So we're going to need to take advantage of the blank sides, because blank can mean any which number of numbers. You know, we could have this 5 here, this right piece cover all the top. And actually, I think it has to cover most of the top, because all the rest of the pieces, if they have numbers facing up, they're not going to really reach the top row. And likewise then with this shape going down, all the rest of the shapes have numbers facing the bottom. So this is probably going to have to dominate most of the bottom, but not necessarily all, right? Like this shape could still reach the bottom here, and this shape has to go up by 1, so it's certainly not getting all the top. This can also get up to here, but none of the other shapes can actually reach any corners. Like each of the 4 corners can only be reached by the yellow or purple shapes. So that's interesting. I also know that yellow can't reach both of the top corners because we only have a 1 in here. Plus we can't have a section without a compass. Likewise, I know that purple is not going to be able to reach both bottom corners. Just the numbers are not that great. Can it ever reach the left side corner? Yeah, it can. It can actually go around like this to the bottom left corner. Okay. Likewise, actually, yellow cannot reach, both left side corners. Otherwise, the 4 is overwhelmed. So the question is, I guess, can the yellow reach the bottom left corner at all? Right? Let's say it does. It maybe comes through here or so. Then we know it can't have both the left side corners, so purple's going to have to be up here, which gets there however the fuck. I don't think it matters. Then yellow, I guess, would have to grab both of these corners then, which actually is valid. So I kind of just want to almost count configurations of corners, right? 1 purple, 3 yellows is good. I don't think there's any other configuration that includes yellow in the bottom left. Maybe 2 and 2. Yeah, that's okay. That's valid. That's valid. I don't think yellow could only get the upper right corner, because then if we have like opposite diagonal corners, there's no way for the lines to be able to cross over each other. So at the very least, yellow would have to grab both the bottom ones. Okay, okay. What if purple had the bottom left corner? Then it'd come over and do this. Yellow would have to have this corner, which would mean it would have to then come up. And I think this upper right corner would have to be yellow, because if it were purple, we're going to be stranding the yellow. So it's going to be yellow and then purple like that. Okay, so we got 2 real possibilities here. I should note that if yellow captures the top right, then purple will have to sneak around like this. I think then actually maybe the bottom left corner isn't the one to look at. I think the upper left is more decisive. Upper left actually can't be yellow, because then this would have to be purple, right? We know both these have to be. And this would have to be purple. But then purple can't have both the bottoms, so then we would need a diagonal matching, which just does not work. So upper left, that's purple, no matter what. It could wrap around like this, or it could wrap around like this. Don't know yet. Well, then we have to think about where is the 1 gonna be that it goes up. And there's 2 groups of options. Either it's the upper right corner, or it's any of the other ones. And if we determine it to be the upper right corner, then I believe it has to be both the other corners, or at least just the bottom right corner. But what I want to focus on is, what if it's any of the other ones? It does this, or it does this, or it does this, any other. I think it all kind of functions the same. This would have to be purple then. Here lies the issue. Purple can't connect above yellow anymore, so it has to connect by going below yellow. If purple is to go below yellow, then yellow can't get either of the bottom corners, which means purple's gonna somehow have to get them both, which it's more than 5. Doesn't make any sense. Therefore, this has to be yellow, and I guess pretty much all these have to be purple. Is there any world in which blue goes up here? No, because then, again, purple would need to go under yellow, which actually, you know what? Something like this does work if yellow does something like this. So I guess it's not all that bad. But at the very least, these are purple. And then yellow comes down, draw that. Yellow has to extend to this corner, and the rest is not yet guaranteed. What about the spot behind the blue on the other side of the line? Can this really be yellow? Because yellow's gonna have to cross back in like one of these two ways, right? Either this way or this way. And that actually does take up all 4, which at first seems fine, but then that means this corner has to become purple, and then purple needs to somehow connect through here without overloading, or even like, let's say yellow was going over the top, you know, say purple gets out this way. That's fine, except purple needs to connect with purple, and then we have a stranded yellow portion. So that means behind the blue, we have a purple. And then likewise, the only way that if yellow cuts off purple in this direction were to happen, yellow would then need to come down and get this as well. But that takes up 3 to the left, so it's not gonna be able to reach out to here as well, meaning the purple does connect here. And then if purple is to get to the bottom left, there's 2 ways that's happening. Either it's coming through the bottom, kind of like this, give or take, or it's maybe connecting up here and then going around and then down. Now, is the first one really gonna work? I mean, it's cutting through here. Let's say, okay, well, first it could cut off the blue like this, which is obviously wrong. Or it could go here, which actually still cuts off the blue, because it only has 2 spaces to expand to without going left. So purple most certainly does not cut through here. Technically, though, it still could be yellow coming in from the bottom right. So let's look at other options. Let's see, like, what I could do with the blue and red in here. I do want to try and cleverly save space, although I have to be careful to not overload the 2. Like, this is a valid shape. And likewise, we could do this. Does that actually make sense? What makes sense then is that purple is to connect here, and then all of a sudden, yellow really only has a couple spaces left, you know, to fulfill the 4. So it has to reach this bottom left, and then I guess I could do here or here, and it has to connect. Now, the connecting is actually the tricky part, because it could connect like this, which chops up the purple into 2, no bueno. It can also connect down here, which only leaves 4 for purple, even if it were to connect. So I think I just need better middle shapes. I don't know how I'd want to approach this then. I feel like I need a better idea for how to approach it. Oh, well, I guess for starters, we know blue isn't connected up here, because then purple would have to shoot this gap, which we already disproved. So that means purple connects here. So the question is, could blue ever go down all the way? Then I could maybe have blue face this shape, which is interesting because yellow could connect to here, and it could also go here. That adds up to 4. I think yellow would have to connect down like this, which is still actually fine, because red can go like this, which is wild that this works. And I'll tell you what, this actually is the solution. Yellow is set right here. Purple has 5 below it. Just a little tinkering and we got it. But now, the ultimate beast puzzle. The boss 7 with how many compasses is this? We need solitude, so I guess I'm just gonna start by drawing a ton of lines. This is an unbelievable number of lines. What the hell is this puzzle? Is it gonna like spell something when it's solved or what? Oh, I can also get the zeros. That's awfully nice. Let's just draw a line in the direction of the 0. And hope that maybe it should spawn some inspiration. There's actually a ton of blank compasses, so I feel like getting the edges shouldn't be too hard. I feel like the trickier part should be filling in the middle. Like, the 5 and 4 are certainly tripping me up. Where the hell do I begin? Well, I guess we do have a 4, 3, and 2 on the second row phasing up. So that's 9 cells out of, what, 13, is it? Yeah, top row is 13. And is this a 13 by 13 square? It is. Okay, so we got 9 out of 13 already accounted for. So what about the other 4? I mean, it could be anything. I feel like this is actually a puzzle that gets a lot easier with uniqueness. Like, let's think about this cell, all right? If this cell went to here, there's actually no reason that it couldn't also just go to here or to here. It actually makes no difference in the grander scheme of the puzzle. So that means it goes to none of them, because otherwise there would be multiple valid solutions, which means it must go left. I guess same with whatever cell is here, right? Anytime it's in between 2 or more X's, it can't go to either of them because there would be 2 solutions. So I guess I can do that for pretty much anywhere. 2 just plain X's are bordering an empty region. We just block them from that empty region. I guess then the next question is, does green merge with the 5-4? Or rather, what does the 5-4 do in general? I guess actually specifically the 5, since it's the biggest number. Now, I suppose it could grow by going up, like through here, right? That's one reasonable gap. Other gaps actually are not feasible because they overload the 4, unless if we actually want to consider this as a valid gap, which is going to cause some problems with the 2 and 3, but we could be a little bit more creative with how this snakes around. Like, technically, we could do something stupid like this. And I mean, okay, cool. You know, you're not that special. Yeah, and frustrating is actually pretty hard to find a reason why such a snake like that would be wrong. I mean, maybe there is something wrong with, like, going up through here, whether or not it connects to the green, right? Let's, you know, even if it does connect to the green, I guess it causes some tension here. Like, this blue can't wrap around this way. So then it would somehow have to wrap around the 4? Like, it would have to really keep going in order to get down. Not to mention still causing problems with the 2. I don't know, I don't think the 5 actually shoots that gap then. Like, even if it doesn't connect, it doesn't actually make it better. It makes it worse. So I think the absolutely absurd route of having the 5 come through kind of up here actually is right. Now, I don't think it actually goes through this area because then it chokes off this number. So it's going to go below. Could it go this far down? Yes, this is a perfectly valid path. Doesn't perturb anybody because the 3 can just go like this. And then we can have like a 2. And then this could go up to there. That's fine. But I mean, technically, another perfectly valid path is if it goes around kind of like, whoops, this through here. Gotta leave space for this to grow. So the bend around here is necessary. But there's no immediate trouble here either. So really, whatever I choose has to at least end with this left side. Could it even start by going like this? Is this valid as well? It doesn't upset the 4. And it doesn't piss off anything below either. Well, isn't that just fun? Well, since we know it goes up this corridor, it's not going to merge with any of the compasses it passes by, including this one, which now I'm basically certain has to make this L shape. What about this piece? I think I see what needs to be done, but I kind of want to walk through all the possibilities. This piece can't go to yellow, because then how is blue ever going to go up? It has to go down before it goes up, and especially has to go right before it goes up. So that means this must come down, but not any further, because then blue can never go right. So it's going to actually connect with this green here, allowing the blue to make this shape, which is perfectly reasonable, and actually does not cause an issue. Now, technically, I actually don't know how far yellow extends up. It might only be 2 for all I know, because it like merges with this and this or something. I guess I should also trace dead ends when they come out, like this. But I don't know if it merges with this, or if it goes on to find a different X, or if it even becomes a part of the yellow. You know, there's a lot of possibilities. I guess I do want to focus on this light blue. How are we getting 3 to come down? It can't go right and up, because that's going to overload the 2. In fact, the only way that makes sense is by doing this shape. Any more, and either of the numbers will be upset. So that's the shape, meaning this must actually come around. And it can't go any further because of the 4. So it is going to cross back in, which isolates a new X. But it still could cross through here. I like that we're making progress. You know, I guess actually a question I should have asked earlier. How does this 2 go down? You know, that was part of the problem with 5 going up. But it actually still remains a problem. Even since the very beginning of things. Like, it can't go 2 down this way because that's just going to upset the other 2. So that means it absolutely has to wrap around to here, which, come to think of it, doesn't that mean actually it could go down like this? Shoot. And then yellow could hypothetically merge with this and then go up to about here. Well, no. Orange still needs to go to the right, and that's going to cut off the 4. Okay, so minor crisis averted. I still think we need to do all this. Well then wait, how is yellow gonna go up? You see the dilemma here? Yeah, wait a second. Doesn't it mean I've gone a little wrong then? I think I've actually made a grave mistake then. I'm gonna fix it. I need to erase about this much, including this shape, about this much. So here's the dilemma, okay? Both the 2-2 and the 5-4, they can't really go all the way over to this column. But the 5 needs to go up and the 2 needs to come down. So that means we don't have many cells to work with here. The choke point for the 5 is this cell. It can't go any further than here, because if it goes here, it cuts off the one way the 2 can avoid from cutting off the 4. So this is the absolute furthest the 5 can come up, which only gets 4 cells above it. Now, at least for the 2, it's fine, right? The 2 can come around to here and maybe here as to not disturb this as much. But that means one of these 2 cells must belong to the 5. And the only one that actually makes sense is here. And you're telling me the 5 has to shoot this gap, which is actually fine because the 1-1 could do something crazy like this. This is a valid shape, which is absolutely bonkers, but it does make sense. So I can close off all the rest of these. And yeah, it does look like orange 2 would then have to come around like this. Wait, no, can't cut off the one here. This must extend out, so it's gonna go like this here. The only downside is that this one is trapped. Well, what if the orange just goes around the 1 like this? Give it the space here, and then the 4 would have space to go up there. And that works because this 3 could come around and then up. Okay, so we're actually starting to see some shapes here. And the yellow cannot cut through here because the 2-3 needs some land. And I think the only way that this can be done is like this, which is perfectly fine. Bring this out. And that's looking really good. Block all this off. That actually does complete more shapes. Block this off. This, I believe, is done. Yeah, this is beautiful. That does mean the 5-4 needs to come down and around, and then go around this X. No further to the right because the 4. So it must come in. And the most obvious solution is to just connect the 2. I don't like the idea of coming down here because that's going to trap this. So I think we actually do connect the yellows and then separate the other shapes. This must come out. And I mean, technically this could still go down. So I'm going to leave it a little open. I can separate the X, and actually upper left is looking clean. This can't go down any further. It would invalidate the 1. So now we have 6 cells on the top row, and 3 must belong to this shape and 2 must belong to this shape. I guess I could do something reasonable and extend a dead end, but to be honest, that barely did anything. Actually, I guess it does do something. Which shape does it eventually meet up with? We know it's not going to be this one, and it can't be this one because that's going to make it bigger than a 1, and it can't be this one. So there's really no close shape. We also know it can't go around like this because then this might never go up. I guess it could do this. Okay, well, let's say it does go above. It could then meet up. Nope, can't meet up with that shape. It could meet up with this shape. Cool. Issue, who gets the bottom corner then? I suppose we could do this. Okay, so that's one option. What else could this do? It could go down and around? No, because then this shape is cut off. So actually, it can't come down through here at all then, which means it must go through here. Then down, not to you, and you are your own shape. And it can't merge here, so it's going to keep going all the way over to the 0. Which, by the way, this must extend out, and then this much must hit the 0. Okay, that's fantastic. This is ended. And this shape, I guess we'll make a dark blue, does actually cover this far. Yeah, that is fantastic. We get some shapes here, fill in yellow there. Great, this must come down so that it can come up eventually. Could be here, or it could be somewhere else, possibly. We know this must come over. And who is going to be covering the bottom right corner? Not this shape. Not this shape. Not this shape. Could be the long 1, or it could be this 2, or this 0. All of which are surprisingly harmless options. Well, actually, no, we know it can't reach this 0, because this 1 still needs to go up by 1, we're going to cause a problem there. So it would have to like go to the 2, and then this would go up by 1. Then this would have to go up by 2, etc., etc. So I don't know if I have enough to go off of there. Although I feel like it may be a lot of work. No, actually having that hit the 2 is perfectly fine. This can go up, this can come down, this can come over. 2 can go whichever way it wants. I do not care. Are there problems that arise with doing this? This 2 is going to have a little bit of a harder time. No, it's not. I can do this and then that. That is an easy time. So maybe I have to leave this portion alone. Oh, I guess something I should have looked at with this section. We have a 3 at the bottom. So that means it pretty much has to go up right now. It's got to go up and at least hit here. Whoops. Probably getting these 3. But there could be a world in which it grabs this instead and that compass goes up. Then this 2 has 2 ways to reach the top. 1 through here and 1 through here. And I like the second one better because it gives a little room for this. If it were to go through the top like this, the issue would actually be who gets this cell? Not you. Not you. You? I guess it's possible. Maybe that's best worth leaving alone for a sec. I got a little dead end coming out. Yeah, but that could reach the nearby X or different X. I feel like that feels redundant. Or like this X. So, okay, never mind on that. Oh, wait, let me look at this again. Options here, this comes down. If this cuts through here, this compass is never going down. So it would have to cut through here. But then, well, then that dissatisfies the 1. So actually, no, the bottom right corner can't be part of that 1. I should have looked 1 step further. Which means R2 does have to go around like this. Bring this over. And then bring this over, actually, because the 2's not going any further. Which does mean this X goes up. And we don't know if this goes down at all yet. It might need to. You know where I actually want to jump to then instead? I want to look at these 4 2's. They're all facing each other. And we have a surprisingly narrow gap here. Right? Only 5 cells to pass through. But we're looking at 8 expansion in this direction. Yeah, wait a second. Am I wrong somehow? No. No. The more I look at it, the less sense it makes. Because, like, no matter how you slice it, we're going to be, like, 1 short. Well, hold on. Wait a second. No, this could still go here. And, like, this could still wrap around like that or so. Hold on. Could also wrap in here. Wait, no. Oh, it's so close. Ah, shoot. Like this could wrap around here? Wait. No, it's still not quite right. Wait, no, this is it. This is the only way to make it work. I just keep fiddling. That's the ticket. That's the one. Good God, that's tough. Yeah, it absolutely has to be. Separate these and there. Now, I don't know if it goes any further in their non-disclosed directions, but I guess what that does tell is there's no longer space for red to come around like that. I can force this here, make a shape here, and then start squeezing in these shapes, which does force blue to come down here. Keep separating the shapes. This 4 facing right has to cover exactly these 4. There's no other ones to the right. How is this one going to go down? No, you can't do me like this. Oh, you're not. Hold on. That's because this goes around like that. Aha. And now we know it does not connect to either of these X's. And that is going to be its own thing. I think we're just very close. I think we've got it. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, what a tough puzzle. That might have been the hardest puzzle in the game. And we are getting so close. We've got a scary looking area here where the world itself is falling apart. Tune into it next time. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next video. Have a wonderful day and peace.